Hi, this is Mark from SMPostcards, the best place to learn about reselling postcards. I'm currently a full-time reseller and I sell postcards. So today I'm going to go through on what's sold on eBay, Etsy, and HipPostcards. I sold 13 cards total today, or 14 cards. 13 on eBay, 1 on Etsy, and 0 on HipPostcards. The percentage of postcards that we sell across the 3 platforms is usually 80% of the cards that sell are on eBay, 15% on Etsy, and 5% on Hip. Also, I have a special topic today of a special postcard, type of postcard called Copper Window. I have some examples to show you and a little description of how they made them and what they are. I also have for postcard terminology, I have another postcard term. One of the most important things you can do on learning postcards is to learn the terminology or postcard speak. Then I have a little short video of the Ramada in Kankakee, Illinois from the 1950s, 60s and what it looks like today. So when I get started here, I'm going to go ahead, for all the new people that are new to this channel, what I do is I go through the cards. I show you the front, show you the back, talk a little bit about the card and what it's sold for and where it's being shipped to. Now when I go through this, it isn't about the dollars I sell, it's about what the people are buying. What are they looking for? Why did this card sell over the other card? You want to look at the keywords I'm using, the titles, how I package them, stuff like that. So after I do that, I usually pack them in an envelope to be mailed out, but I'll cut that out of the video because I don't want to waste your time with me shoving these things in an envelope on there. So you'll see me cutting that out in the video. But let's go ahead and get started on the postcards that sold on eBay first, and there was 13 of them that sold. I'll bring up my little cheat sheet here. So this card is the Exotic My Kai restaurant in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. That's the name of it. I think I'm saying it right. But I just put this card up yesterday. It sold within 24 hours. This was posted in 1964. And it has a 4-cent Lincoln stamp on it. There is some writing across there. But this is a chrome card. And this card sold for $4.45. It's being shipped to Glendale, California. eBay is an older divided back card. This was actually posted in 1910, and if you notice, it has a little blemish down the bottom here. The scanner did pick that up. The people did see that when they bought the card, so I probably put something in the description just to say there's a little peel there. But it's up the Catskill Mountains from East Durham, New York. And there's the mountains. Now with the divided back cards, this has a 1-cent stamp. If you notice how there's more room on the address side than there is message, this means it's kind of an earlier divided back most of the time. But it is a divided back card. And this card sold for $4, which is an offer that we send to buyers. We send offers all day long for 10%. Whatever pops up on eBay, we send the offers out. About 40-45% of our cards sell from offers sent to buyers. This card is being shipped to Henson, New York. Sold on eBay is Cape Vincent, New York. And this is a boat docked at the town dock in Cape Vincent, New York. Nice chrome card. Not a lot of scratches or anything on this card. It was very well kept. The corners and sharp edges, but it's an unposted card. It has just a no stamp. It does have some writing from a flea market or a antique booth. I don't take those off. I leave that up to the collector and the buyer. But this boat here, the name of the town is probably what sold this. The title I used for this card was Postcard Cape Vincent, New York. So there wasn't much in the title except Cape Vincent, New York. So someone probably did a search for Cape Vincent. This popped up and it triggered them to buy it. They paid full price, $4.45 free shipping, and this is being shipped to Lorraine, New York. The next order that I have on eBay is Thomas bought 4 cards. The first card that he bought, and this is probably sold because of the picture on there of Los Angeles, and it's unposted, and this is out Los Angeles at night. Now, in the title I use for this is Postcard Los Angeles at Night, California. The at night really might bring out people to see this card, but this card sold for $4.45. The next card that sold was a banner card, they call them, Greetings from Los Angeles. This is a posted card. I can't tell when it was posted, but it is posted. It's a nice card. These are called banner cards. When you see these cards, not large letter, they're called banner cards. And this card sold for $4.45 full price, free shipping. And I think this guy likes Los Angeles in California. The next one is the Holiday Boulevard. If you've seen from the last videos, I've sold this card before, or variations of it, but that's looking down the street there in California on Hollywood Boulevard. This was posted in 1965, so this is a real nice card. The next card he bought is the Beverly Hilton in Beverly Hills, California, and this is an older card, probably the 60s as well. It's unposted, and that's what that card is. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. We got a couple things coming up. One of them is to talk about the copper window postcard, the special topic. I got a term for postcard terminology, and I have that little short video. So let's go ahead and do the term. One of the biggest things to learn when learning postcards, and some of you guys probably have been doing this for a while and understand these terms very well, maybe better than I do. But the term I have today, and I've heard this term lately a lot, so I thought I would bring it up. It's called rack cards. What do they mean by rack cards? And I'll put it down here so you can read along with me. A rack card refers to a continental size card. A continental size card is usually a 6x4. They're from the 70s, late 70s, 80s, 90s. They're the newer ones that you see. I don't deal in continental cards. Those go in the flea market box. Now, if the subject is correct, if it's Disney, Puerto Rico, airplanes, I might keep them, but I tend to shy away from the continentals. And you'll see that when you buy the lots and stuff. If there's a lot of continentals in there, I won't buy those lots. If I do, I basically just tell the people I'm not going to do anything with these, so I don't count them into the purchase. But a rack card refers to a continental size cards issued since the mid-1990s that are generally given away for free as advertising. So these are rack cards, like in a rack at a store or somewhere. They are usually found in the card rack displays, but they can be distributed in a variety of ways. Rack cards are a variant of the older giveaway postcards once popular with hotel and restaurants. And those are some of the cards I deal with that you found at the counter at the hotel when you checked in. You got some postcards in a drawer in the room. While most of these cards can be mailed, some have advertising on both sides. So there's no room to put any mailing down there. But that's what they mean by rack cards. Now, these cards can sit in a rack for years, and they never be taken and stuff like that. And there is a little niche for that, but I don't look for continental or the rack cards. But that's what rack card means. So if you hear that term, it's a newer card, advertising type. A couple more cards here, and then I'll get in there and show you what a copper window card is. Those are pretty neat cards. The next card that's sold on eBay is the Lenox Square, Atlanta, Georgia. So I think this is some kind of shopping center in there. This is a chrome card. It does look like a white border, but it is a chrome card. You can see it kind of shine on there. But this is like an outdoor mall. Let me see what it says. There's 67 stores, outstanding architecture, and they do events all year long. So this is the historic view of Lenox Square Mall on there. This sold for $4.45, and it's going to Cumming, Georgia. This card that's sold on eBay is a government building in Washington, D.C. I never shy away from these types of buildings, especially the older ones. This is a white border card of the Department of Agriculture buildings in Washington, D.C. right there. It cost about $16 million, it says on the back here, to build these buildings, and I'm not for sure what year it is, but it's on the mall in Washington, D.C., and this is a white border card. It's not a linen, and it's unposted. Not a bad card at all. It's got that solid stock. I can just feel cards to make sure that you can feel them When I feel a card, I kind of know if they're older cards or whatever. But this card sold for $4.45 and free shipping, full price, no offer, and it's being shipped to Rockville, Maryland. Remember, the key to doing all this what sold things with postcards is to look at the variety of cards that sold. Are they linen, divided back? Are they older? Are they newer? What would the key terms? What would you put in the title to sell the card? What are people looking for and buying? And that's why I do these videos with all these special topics and stuff, to show you the different varieties that people are buying. So when you go to the antique malls, the flea markets, the garage sales, buying lots of cards, you have an idea what you can sell the cards for and what price you need to get those cards for. It is so important if you're selling at the lower level cards that you get those cards, you know, for a very, very good price, because your margin, by the time you pay eBay fees, the envelopes, the stamps, you got to figure all that into your cost and where do you want to be. I have a lot of people ask me, you know, you can't make money doing this. Well, I'm retired. This supplements my income. We do have some other things in our business that we do, and this is a nice add-on. Plus, this is probably the most enjoyable thing that I do, is sell postcards. I just like getting into them, the repetition. It is a lot of rinse and repeat work with postcards. So if you're going to get into postcards, you know, dive in and do it. I mean, it's one of the top most collected things in the United States. I think it's coins, stamps, and postcards are the three top things. And deltiology is the name of studying and collecting the postcards. And people buy things. I've seen some of these cards I've sold for $4. I've seen some of them sold for $10, $14, $15 plus shipping. Those are the impulse buyers. I go after the lower cards. I usually deal with divided back, white border, linen, and chrome cards. That's really what I key in on. I will pick up the undivided backs, RPPCs, the real photo postcards, they're called, and some novelty. I like the novelty cards. They're not, as the copper windows, you'll see that's not a real expensive card or pricey, but they're just novelties. And that's what appeals to me. So people buy cards for many different reasons. Now this next card that I sold is a linen card, and if I hold it back here, you can tell, if you've been watching my other videos, there's the blue. That's that blue that they had in there. You can feel it, but this is the Citadel. I purchased this card just this week from an antique store that we go to in another town over, and it's the Citadel. I looked at hundreds of cards that day. We were in there about an hour or so. Now, when I buy cards at antique stores and stuff, I do have to pay up on them. People have to pay rent in their booths and stuff, so I support them. And I paid up for this card, and then so I had to bring the price from $4.45. I had to bring it up to $7.45 because I have to pass that on to the buyer to make my margin that I look for postcards. And I'm the one that went out and looked for it. I'm the one that found it. I'm the one that listed it, and I'm the one that's going to sell it and pack it. So those are the margins on there. This is of the Citadel in Charleston, South Carolina. What really caught my eye is one is the Citadel, but they got all the people, the army, the soldiers, or the cadets, they call them, I guess, lined up there. And it's got a little shadow. They did a little shadow thing right there. And it's got the blue. It was unposted. It was a solid card. I think I might have 75 cents to $1 in this. And I sold it for $7.45. Take the stamp out, take the envelope out, take the sleeve out, take my time out, take eBay fees out. What do you got left? If I would have sold this for $4.45, it wouldn't have been worth my time. Or $4.45, it wouldn't have been worth my time. But this is just another variety that I have in the store. So always look through those booths and watch these videos so you can tell what people might buy. And it keeps your cash flow going. If you're looking for just that one card, those 10 cards that are going to knock it out of this world worth $30, $40, those are few and hard between. Those have already been picked through, like Halloween cards. So that's why I keyed in on the lower price cards, and I sell them by volume. This is sold for $7.45, free shipping, and going to Alex City, Alabama. Okay, I'm going to do one more card on eBay, and then I'm going to get into the special topic of a type of postcard called copper window. And I'll tell you a little how they make those cards, how they used to make those cards. This next card is a Canada card. Quebec, Canada. It's the Chateau Frontenac. Let me bring it up here. Take it out of the sleeve. It's a chrome card, and you can, like I said in the other videos, if someone knows cars, you can probably date postcards really good. You could make a career out of it. But those are the cars in there, and that might be what sold it and on there. So this card is a chrome card. Nice sharp edges, no creases, no scratches. Very well kept. And it's sold for $4.45, and it's being shipped to Jolton, Tennessee. Most of the times when I sell Canada cards, they're going to Canada. But this one's going to Jolton, Tennessee, so maybe it's somebody that moved from Canada, or they like the cars. I'm not for sure what sold this. My title was Postcard Chateau Frontenac, Quebec, Canada. So something in there triggered the search, or they just looked through the store and they saw this nice card. Okay, I only have 3 cards left to do. 2 on eBay and 1 at Etsy, to show you the variety and what the people are buying. But let's go ahead, and I'm going to do the special topic of a type of postcard that I look for when I'm looking through piles. It's called copper window postcards, and I'll put the description below as I read it so you can read along. The copper window cards using a bronzing method. Now that's going to be important here as I go through, is the bronzing method. Windows of buildings appear on postcards are covered in a copper or other reflective metal, and are referred to as copper window cards. This was meant to simulate light passing through them, and it didn't really work out as planned. It doesn't look as realistic as what the research I've done on it. They just didn't think it really came out like they planned for. The novelty of the copper cards is what drove the appeal of these cards. So I like novelty cards. As you'll see going through the videos I got coming up this year, I have a lot of different novelty cards, and that's the appeal of those. Now, doing some price check just real quick, I've seen these cards sold for anywhere from $3 to $16 average. Now, there was some higher $30 to $40 cards, but those were pristine cards and stuff like that. So these are not your high-end cards, but they are something to look out for, and they are unique for your store or just to keep and collect as, copper window postcards. It's a draw. So they're not really high dollar cards. And I have some examples here I'm going to show you. So the first one is the one I put on the YouTube thumbnail, but as you can see if I can hold it in the light, but that's the copper there in those windows. Yeah, they put them in the copper on that window, that window, that window, the doors, there, there, and there. And this is a undivided back card, Empire Theater, Lewiston, Maine. But they put the copper right in there, on there, if you can see it glisten a little bit. But that's what they call copper window cards. The bronzing method was used to create the copper window effect on postcards without the use of metallic inks. So it wasn't an ink that they would use. They would go through after the image was printed on the card with a regular ink. So when everything else was printed, and an adhesive pattern and varnish would be printed over it and then dusted while wet with a fine metallic powder. So this isn't a metallic ink, it's like a fine metallic powder. The term bronzing was also used more generically to refer to any application of metallic powder to a card placed in wet ink or varnish. So bronzing is used generically for what they call this method here. This method should not be confused with images that had metallic inks printed over them or metal foil adhered to them. In a later video from now, I do have some foil covered postcards that I'm going to show you how and talk about those. But there was many health hazards back then. They didn't know a lot about this method and what it could do to your health that was associated with the bronzing. And the dust was very explosive. So the metallic dust they were using was bad for you, and it also could explode. I was killed by a postcard. So most printers eventually abandoned the this time-consuming method of in favor of the metallic inks when they were made easier to use on presses. So once the metallic inks were made easier, it got safer to use those instead. There is another term that you'll see out there. It's very rarely used. I think I'm saying it's right. Radial. It's R-A-D-I-O-L. It's a trade name for a form of bronzing specifically used by the Berlin publisher Paul Finkenrath to apply metallic colors to his cards. So someone patented a method of doing this, and it's called radial cards. R-A-D-I-O-L. So that's a copper window card. Let me show you a few more examples of these cards. This is probably the best one I have. It's the Old North Church in Boston. It's just loaded with, there you go. The light hit that one, if you can see that, how it actually shines. Those are all the windows on this card that are that they actually put the metallic powder on. I keep doing, there you go. So that's the Old North Church copper window card. Now this card was a little different. They do have copper windows up there, but they also use some kind of a metallic powder down in the water. As you can see, it can shine, and that's why I picked out this card on there. But the windows at the top, the windows here, the windows at the top up here, I'm trying to get it to shine, but that's an older card. This is an undivided back. This one was 1901, and it does have some damage on the bottom, but that they used a bronzing method a little bit to glisten up the water with a different color. And this this is another one of the fountain at Canfield's Clubhouse, Saratoga Springs, New York. This one should shine pretty good. There you go, you can see those. That's where all the copper windows are in there, and it's a fountain, and they actually used that metallic in there. And this was actually postmarked 1906, undivided back card. As you can see, the writing, they wrote around the edges of it. There wasn't a writing tab, but those are copper window cards. But they're really neat novelty is what they appear to. You know, while your friends say, hey, I found some copper window cards on there. But that's what the copper windows are. So you want to look for those for the appeal and the novelty as you go out. Two cards that the buyers bought from eBay, and then I'll go ahead and show you the short video and give you a little background on that video. And this is an unpublished video we haven't published yet. So the next card that sold on eBay was Roosevelt Dam in Lake, Arizona. It's a linen card, as I can just tell it from the blue and the feel of it. But this is the Roosevelt Dam on there. It's just a linen card, but it's a nice picture of a dam. Some people, they collect dams, they collect rhinoceroses, flamingos, pelicans. You know, a lot of people collecting unicorns. My granddaughter loves unicorns. Anything unicorns she loves. This actually sold for $4, so it was an offer to a buyer, free shipping, and it's going to Miami, Arizona. Now this card sold just as I was putting everything together and getting set up for this video. This card sold, so I thought I would put it into the pile. This is the Evanston Campus, Northwestern University, Evanston, Illinois. So Northwestern University is an aerial view. I wasn't able to put aerial view in this title because it was a little bit too long already, but that's the campus. That's north of me. I know I used to work in Evanston. Boy, that's a hard place to get in and out of during rush hours. I never looked forward when I had a service call to go up to Evanston, but I love going to Northwestern campus. I did some of their voicemail and phone systems around that area. It's a neat area with that. So Evanston is north of Chicago. It's an unposted card, and that's Lake Michigan right out here. So this card sold for $4.45, and it's going to Scottsdale, Arizona. So I have one postcard left that someone bought off of Etsy, and we'll do that in just a minute. But I'd like to go through and do the short video. We're doing a lot of videos. They're called past and present, postcards. So we own all the postcards for the videos. We go out and we find the postcard, and then we go and find the place that the postcard was at, and we take a picture of the current. So we got the past and we got the present. And we're starting to get a good catalog of those up there. And I have a ton of postcards for the local area, but as we travel and things open up this year, hopefully we can get out and do some outside of the radius. So this little short video, it's about 30 to 45 seconds long, is of the Ramada Inn, which is on the south of Kankakee, Illinois, south side. And it's got a picture of the TriStar restaurant there. And if you notice, it's got the old Ramada Inn sign. That restaurant burned, I think, in the late 60s, 70s. I don't know exactly the year, but it was a nice place to go. And that is burned down. That's no longer there. And if you look at the cars in there, you can tell it's, you know, probably 50s or 60s. But that's what this video is about. So I'll go ahead and cue up that video for you. Hope you enjoy it. Here you Now, I hope you enjoyed that video. We have a lot of them up there. Just go take a look, and I have a playlist set up in the channel, so you can actually click and play them all in the playlist, and they'll just play one after another. They're real short, from 30 seconds to 45 seconds. We're trying to do them a little bit longer now, so you get a good view without backing up and stuff. I'm going to go ahead and finish up the card that sold on Etsy. Now remember, we sell on eBay, Etsy, and HipPostcard. We had no cards sold on there. Now, I did make a mistake on the title with this one. I wrote the postcard, the swimming hole, Glenwood Springs, Colorado, and it actually says the swimming pool, Glenrun thing, but it was really light up there, so, you know, it's still sold, but that's the swimming pool in Glenwood Springs, Colorado. It's a divided back card. And this is one of the earlier cards I sold, and it's got some damage down here, some peeling in the corner. That didn't seem to affect the buyer. They paid $4.45 free shipping, full price for it. And I'll go ahead and get that packed up and out to Amanda. Thank you, Amanda. So that's what we did today. You know, we had 13 cards sold on eBay, 1 on Etsy, 0 on Hip. But Hip is always a little slower with the volume. Showed you what a copper window postcard is. Make sure you get those. If you get some, send me a picture, or to contact ShelMarkSales.com. It's in there. You know, send me a picture of the copper windows. They're kind of hard to find out there. You can get them on eBay and stuff, but I like finding them in the wild. As I'm looking through, I see those types of cards. And I also did the term about rack cards, so now you understand those are newer cards. They're advertising. There's not a lot of value in them unless it's something special. But I heard that term lately in a while. And we did the short video about Ramada Inn. Make sure you check those out. Make sure we give it a thumbs up. We thank you for watching, and we'll catch you